just because, well, that's the only family I know, and being and seeing the things I've seen, not to truly know until you do know. I just assume nobody's going to love me aside from the people that have dealt with me for as long as they have. But just because they deal with you for all your life doesn't mean that they love you. Like, a lot of people have come to learn in their lives earlier than later that family is just people that you can't fuck. But that doesn't mean family's not going to try to fuck you. And I mean that figuratively as well as literally trying to insert themselves into you, or the other way around. And it's just like, what the fuck? Because I 100% remember you're not supposed to fuck family. But then, whatever. And other things I used to do, I used to take food and hide it just because you're not allowed to have anything else. So you finish that, blah, this, blah, blah. Clean plate, nobody gives a fuck. Used to go on a lot of solo adventures. To be one of 11 people and always be alone is fucking insane. At least in my head. Well, not necessarily 11 people. What was it? Kids 11 plus the adults would be what, 14? Oh, 13 doofus. So yeah, just one of 13 people, and well, technically speaking, take one of 12 people. It all depends on which video that you watch. I say one of 11, one of 12, one of 13, just because on top of my math being shit sometimes, we also fostered. So therefore, depending on the time of the year, it was just 11 of us, or the cousins were over, which would be extra three, or one hydrocephalic child from Haiti, or it could have been the other child that had heart surgery like I did, but wasn't nearly as severe, and his family was alive and still wanted to be in contact with him. If I remember, his family actually kind of had money. If I remember, I'm not 100%, but I would say a lot of my upbringing was multicultural. I figured I learned a lot of patience. I learned a lot of different ways to communicate and interact with people, but how do I apply this to my real life skills? Well, the only difference between trashy and classy is your wealth, and my wealth didn't allow it to be classy. It was just, well, and technically speaking, yes, I should know a second language. This is the second language, but since I don't know my first language, this is my only language, and that's because I didn't grow up with my, how do I explain it? I didn't grow up with any Haitian, any Creole training, or with any of that demographic. It was just, now you're in America, learn how to be an American, more or less, because at least how I saw it in the news and stuff like that. Because I do realize not every American speaks for the American on the media. That if you're here, you have to learn how to speak here, act here. But some people also want to travel the world and be like, oh, why don't you guys learn to speak English? Bitch, you're not American no more. Learn to speak where you're at, like you ask others to do for you. Either way. So I learned how to not ever seem or act or be anything but an American, but that's always going to be weird. That's always going to be awkward. It's always going to be strange because I'm not an American. I'm Haitian born, American raised. And the first part